Hi everyone, I welcome you back to this channel, Technical Drawing Masterclass. So today we are going to look at the site layout plan. So it's from this floor plan that we are going to generate our site layout plan. A certain viewer asked me to do a tutorial or a video about the site layout plan. So I decided to do this video. So we are going to design a site layout plan from scratch, and it's going to be a long video, but I urge you that you stay watching until the end of this video such that you get to know all the steps that are needed to draw a site layout plan. So let's get started. But before we continue, let me first take you through the major functions of a site layout plan. The site layout plan always helps the contractor on site or the civil engineer on site to know the position of the house on a sized plot of land, and also apart from knowing the position of the building on site, it also helps the site engineer or the contractor on site to know where to position the parking, to know where to position the access route to the site. Then also it also enables the contractor on site to know the positions of the trees and also other elements of the site. So with that being said, let's continue with the rail drawing. So we shall start by drawing the boundary lines. So like I said, we are going to draw this site layout plan from scratch, and we shall use the rectangle command. So I'll click at the layer for walls, then I'll select the layer for boundary line, then I'll click at the rectangle command, then I'll draw a rectangle of dimensions 30,000 millimeters by 20,000 millimeters. So this is what we have. So I'll highlight it, then I'll move it down. Like that. Then next, I'm going to highlight it still. Then I'll explode it. Then I'll highlight this line. Remember that if you explode any closed polygon, you have access to highlight a single line of that polygon such that you can do anything with it. So I'll offset it at a distance of 1500. Then I'll do the same thing for these other lines. Okay, so when you're done, I'll simply highlight this line, then I'll hover my cursor at this blue dot, then I'll click stretch. So I'll stretch out this line until it meets this line. So I'll do the same thing for this line. But I'm able to achieve these stretch outs because I made sure that my auto mode is selected. Yeah, so I'll continue with stretching out these lines like that. So when you're done, you simply press escape. Then next, I'm going to highlight these lines that I've offsetted before. Then I'll highlight them. I'll delete them. So this is what we have. Next, I'm going to put the setbacks of the buildings, of this building from the boundary line. So I'll highlight this line, then I'll click at the offset command. Then I'll offset it at a distance of 1500 millimeters. Then I'll do the same thing this side. So when you're done with offsetting off these setbacks, that distance, simply highlight what we have here, this floor plan. Then you click at the copy command. Then at this corner right here, I'll simply click at it. Then I'll transfer this copy right here. Then I'll press escape. Then next, I'm going to delete these dimensions because I no longer need them in this drawing for the layout plan. So I'm going to highlight everything. Then when you're done with highlighting them, you simply press the delete key at the keyboard. So they will simply disappear. So next, I'm going to put the road reserve. Then I'll also allocate the position of the road. So I'll highlight this line. Then I'll click at the offset command. Then I'll offset it at a distance of 3000 millimeters. Then I'm going to make my road to be of width 6000 millimeters. So I'll do it like this, such that the distance from here up to here is 3000. Then the distance from here up to here is also 3000. So the total distance is 6000. Yeah. So this is the middle line of the road. So this is also a carriageway, and also this is a carriageway. So I'll simply highlight each and everything. Then I'll put them under the layer for road. Then I'll press escape. Then next, I'll highlight that line, also that line. Then I'll delete them. So next, I'm going to put the access route to the site. So I'll highlight this line. Then I'll offset it at a distance of 3000 millimeters, like that. Then still I'll offset another line at a distance of 4000 millimeters. So now I'll highlight these lines. Then I'll stretch them out until they meet this line for the road. Yeah. So I'll press F at the keyboard. Then I'll click at fillet. Then I'll click at this line. Then at the command bar, I'll click at this radius. Then I'll put in 3500. Then I'll have this. So next, I'll click at that line. Then I'll stretch it out. Then next, still I'm going to repeat the same process. I'll click F at the keyboard. Then I'll select fillet. This time I'll just click at this line. Then I'll simply also click at this other line. That's how I develop these curves. Then I'll simply press escape. Then next, I'll highlight this line. Then I'll click at the offset command. Then I'll offset it at a distance of 4000 millimeters. So this is what I have. Then next, still I'm going to apply the fillet command right here. That's what we have. Then I'll do the same thing for this other side. Sorry, I need to first stretch out this line. So this is what I have. So I'll simply highlight this line, then I'll click at the trim command. Then I'll trim off that part of the curve. Then I'll highlight that one and I delete it. So next, I'll also highlight these lower curves. Then still I'll click at the trim command. Then I'll trim off that part of the line or boundary line. Then still I'll use the line command. At this point where the curve ends, I'll draw a horizontal line up to this other side. Then next, I'll click at this line. Then at this blue dot, I'll hover my cursor there. Then I'll click on stretch. Then I'll stretch it out up to until it meets this line. Yeah. So next, I'll click at the offset command. Then I'll offset it at a distance of 3000 millimeters. So that's what we have. Then I'll also stretch out this other line. Then I'll press escape. Still I'll use the fillet command, but then this time I'm going to use a radius of 1220 millimeters. So when I hit enter, that's what I have. Then still I'll use it for this other corner. So that's what I have. So I'll highlight this line. And I'll click at the trim command. Then I'll trim off that line because I no longer need it right now. So next, I'm going to put the drainage line for this building. So this will help the contractor on site or the mechanical engineer on site to easily know where to put the manholes, the septic tank, and the soak pit according to how you have allocated the positions of those elements. Yeah. So let's continue. This time I'll use the layer for walls. Then I'll click at the rectangle command. Then next, I'll draw here a rectangle of dimensions 600 by 600. It's going to be a square, not a rectangle. Then I'll highlight it. Then I'll offset it inwards at a distance of 50. That's what we have. Then I'll click at the text command. Then I'll select my layer for text. Then I'll put in MH to represent manhole. So I'll give it a height of 200. That's what we have. Then I'll highlight it. I'll try to position it right in here. think it looks great. So I'll highlight each and everything, then I'll click at the move command, then I'll move it right here. Then I'll click at the copy command after me highlighting it. Then I'll have a copy of it right here. Then another one here. Then I'll have another one right here. Then this one, it will connect up to the septic tank. Then let me draw out the septic tank. Remember that usually it's the mechanical engineer that determines the dimensions of these elements. Yeah. So always the contractor on site has to follow the dimensions that are put on the architecture drawings. Yeah. So, but for the case of the video, allow me to use appropriate dimensions to suit this kind of illustration. I'll use 2000 millimeters by 800 millimeters. So this looks great. I'll highlight it. Then I'll click at the move command. I'll move it downwards. Then I'll also move it somewhere there. Then next, I'm going to create another square of dimensions 300 by 300. I'll highlight it. Then I'll click at the center of it. Then I'll position it right there. Then I'll also position it here. Okay, so I'll copy this text to this septic tank. Then I'll try to put it in the middle there. Then I'll put in septic tank. Then after, I'll stretch it out. So that's what we have. So next, I'll draw my sock pit somewhere here. Then I'll give it a radius of I'll give it a radius of 900. That means its diameter is 1800. So after that, still I'll highlight that text, click at the copy command, then I'll simply move it up to here. Then I'll highlight this text, I'll double click at it, then I'll select each and everything in there. Then I'll edit it to sock pit. Then I'll try to move it inside the circle like that. So next, I'll click at the line command, but then under the layer for walls, and then I'll connect this kitchen to the manhole. Then still I'll use the line command, and I'll connect this manhole to this other manhole. Then still I'll hit enter to go back to the line command. Then I have also to connect this WC to this manhole. The next, still I have to do the same thing right here. The next, I'll simply connect it up to this point. Then I'll connect this manhole to the septic tank. Then lastly, I'll connect it to the soak pit. So this is what we have. Okay, so next I'm going to create an arrow to show the direction where the wastes will be moving. How the wastes from the kitchen, the WC, will be moving to the soak pit. Okay, so I'll use the line command. Then I'll put in 100. I'll press the tab key. Then I put in 45. Then I hit enter. It's kind of small, but that's what I want. Then I'll snap this line to that lower point. Then I'll move it up to that horizontal plane. Then I'll click there and I move it down. Then I'll highlight this triangle. Then I'll click at the mirror command. At this point, I'll move it up. Then I'll hit no. So I'll highlight that middle line. Then I delete it. Still, I highlight each and everything. Click at the modify panel. Then I click at this join command. So you can see that each and every line here is joined together to form a single polygon. So next, under the layer for hatch, I'll click at the hatch command. When it opens up, I'll select the solid fill. So I'll simply put it there. I'll press escape. Then I'll highlight each and everything. Then I'll click at the move command. At this point right there, I'll transfer this arrow right here. So next, I'm going to rotate this arrow to face this side, the sharp edge to face this side. Because if you leave it like that, that means you're simply telling those people on site that the wastes will be moving from the manhole to the kitchen, which is not applicable. So you have to rotate it. So I'll click at the rotate command. I'll zoom out. Then I'll simply rotate it like this. So this is perfect. Still, I'll highlight this arrow. Then I'll click at the copy command. Then I'll click at this point. Then I'll simply transfer it right here. Okay. Then simply I'll highlight it. Then click at the rotate command. Then I'll rotate it like that. Then next I'll highlight it. Then click at the copy command. Then I'll simply copy it to these other lines. that are connecting the manholes. I'll put it there, then I'll put another one right here, then I'll put another one right here, then also I'll put another one right here. So when you're done, you simply press escape. So this is the drainage chain we have. So I'm just going to still highlight this, then I'll copy it, these other lines. So next I'll use the line command under the layer for walls. Then I'll connect up this point to the boundary line. So that's what we have. Next, I'm going to put the hatching. Okay, so I'll select the layer for hatch, then click at the hatch command. So when it opens up, I'll select this hatch command. Then I'll give it a scale of 1000 millimeters. I hit enter. I can see it's too big. Then I'll reduce it to 200. So this is what we have. Then I'll simply distribute it to these other points. So that's what we have. So when I'm done with putting those hatchings, I'll press escape at the keyboard. So I'll give it a transparency of 70. Then this is what we have. Right now I'm going also to put the hatching for the grass this side, but before that I want to put the trees. Yeah? So you can always get CAD blocks from the design center right here. So if you don't have this dialog box from AutoCAD, you simply type in design center. So AutoCAD will bring for you these options, then you just hit enter. So it won't appear because I already have it here. Yeah, so this is where you can get the tree elevations, the plan views for the trees. You can also get other CAD blocks. I'm going to use this. So you just long click at it, then you just transfer it outside. Yeah, so this is what I have. I'll click at it, then I'll move it down. I'll rotate it, and I'll simply put it there. Then also there is another option of obtaining these trees. There is an option of using the tool palette. So if you don't have this tool palette at your screen, you simply put in so when it opens up, this is what it looks, this is how it looks like. So you simply select this tree block. It is tree imperial. So you just click at it, then you drag it to your drawing. Yeah, so I'll press it right there. Then I'll try to increase its size by using the scale command. Then you can always position it accordingly. Maybe I can put one there. Then maybe I can put another one here. The trees are so important because they do serve a lot of functions on the site. Yeah. So next I'm going to put the hatch for the grass. So still under the layer for hatch, I'll click at the hatch command. I'll increase its scale to 4000. I hit enter. Then I'll simply put it here. So this is what I have. Then I'll put it there. Then also at that point, at this point, okay, so when you're done, simply press escape. But before that, let me give it a transparency of 70. So this is what we have. Next, I'm going to put the blocks for cars right here. So I'll copy this car of mine right here. By the way, I downloaded this block for the car from a certain website called cadblocks.com. So you can check out that website if you really want a realistic CAD blocks like these ones I used in this floor plan. Yeah, so let's continue. I highlight this, then I'll click at the copy command, then I'll simply copy it right here. Okay, then still I'll use the copy command. I put another car right here, but I'll rotate it to face the side. So I'll click at it, then I'll give it that direction, then still I'll move it behind like that. So next I'm going to put the text. So still using the text command under the layer for text, I'll put in paved walkway. Then I'll highlight it and I'll give it a text height of 400. Then I'll highlight it. Then I'll move it right here. And also I'll put another copy right there. Okay. So I'll edit this one to green area. Then I'll also edit this one to green area. So when you're done, I'll also click at the copy command after me highlighting this text. Then I'll have a copy of it right here. I'll double click at it. Then I'll edit it to main road. Then I'll copy it somewhere here. Then next, okay, maybe if you want, you can copy one of the cars from the side, then you put it here. Yeah, and you can put another one here, but then you change its movement direction. Somewhere there. Yeah, that looks great. The next, let me put some circles right here to indicate that these are the connecting points for the boundary lines. So I'll give that circle a radius of 100, but I'll put it under the layer for boundary line. Then I'll click at the copy command. Then I'll click at its center. Then I'll copy it to these different points. Then when you're done, you simply press the escape key at the keyboard. Then next, I'm going to put the dimensions. So I'll select my layer for dimension, click at the dimension command. So I'll indicate the distance at which this building is offsetted from the boundary line. So from this point, I'll stretch out my cursor up to this point. So you find that that's the distance. Then I'll do the same thing here. Then still you have to indicate the distance at which the building is offsetted from the center of the line, from the center of the road, sorry. So that's the distance. It's 14,950 millimeters, yeah, from the center of the road. And also I need to indicate this distance. And also this distance. Let me put it right here. Then also I have to indicate the dimensions of the plot of land. So when you're done, you simply press the escape key at the keyboard. So what we are left with is to put the compass to show the direction of the north. Then also I'll put the legend. Then lastly we shall name our drawing. Okay, so I'll use the circle command under the layer for walls. No, under the layer for compass. I'll draw a circle of radius 1000 millimeters. Then I'll use the line command. At that point I'll draw a vertical line. The next, from the center I'll draw another line of any length, but at an angle of 135. So I'll click at the circumference of the circle, then I'll select extend. Then I'll just trim off that one. Then next I'll highlight this line. Then I'll click at the mirror command. Then I'll simply mirror it this side. I'll hit no. The next I'll highlight these two lines. I'll delete the upper parts of those lines. Then I'll click at this point, stretch out my cursor until it meets this upper part or upper point. Then still from this upper point, I'll stretch out my cursor up to this lower point, up to that other point, then also up to that point. So when you're done, you simply highlight these two lines and delete them. So I'll use the hatch layer under the hatch command. Then I'll simply put in my hatch right there. Then I'll press escape. Okay, so next I'm going to put a text. Then I'll put in N. Then I'll give it a height of 700. I'll highlight it. Then I'll try to move it right there. Okay. Then I'll highlight each and everything. Then I'll slightly move it up. So that's what we have for the compass. The next I'm going to put the legend. So still I'll click at the text command. I'll put in legend. Then I'll highlight it. Then I'll give it a height of 400. Then I'll underline it. Then next I'll use the rectangle command. I'll draw a square of dimensions 500 by 500. I'll highlight it. Then I'll move it down. So in here I'm going to put the hatching for the grass. Then another square will be for the hatching for the paved walkway. Then also I'll indicate my trees, yeah, at the legend right here. So I'll select my layer for hatch. Then I'll click at the hatch command. Then I'll select this hatch command, and I'll give it a scale of so this is what we have. Then I'll click at this square, have a copy of it downwards. Then I'll click at the hatch command. Then I'll use this hatch command. So that's what we have. For these ones, I'll try to increase their appearance by 30. Yeah. So next, I'm just going to copy here this text to this point. So I'll reduce it to 250. Still too big. 150. Yeah, this one looks okay. So I'll move it right here. Then I'll click at it. Then I'll click at the copy command. Then I'll move it up there. Then I'll double click at it. Then I'll edit it to paved walkway area. Then also I'll have a copy of this tree outside into my legend. Then I'll click at it. Then I'll use the scale command. At that point, I'll try to reduce its size to an appropriate size. I think this is good. Then I'll move it right here. Then also I'll do the same thing for this tree. I'll move it right here. Then I'll use the scale command. Then I'll move it right here. The next, I'll click at the copy command. I'll click at this text. Then I click at the copy command. Then I'll move it down here. Then I'll edit this one too. Trees, all site vegetation. So this is what we have. Then I'll highlight each and everything. Then I'll try to move it down like that. So next, what we are left with is to name our drawing. So I'll highlight this line, this text, and I'll click at the copy command. Then I'll just move it right here. Then I'll draw a circle, maybe of radius 500. Then I'll connect it up with a line. Then I'll edit this one too, site layout plan. Then I'll move it right here. Okay, so this is it for the site layout plan. If there is anything I've left out, please let me know in the comment section. Then also, if there is anything that you have learned and it has added value to you, please you can give this video a like. Then you can also support the channel by subscribing. That's one way you support us to continue making this kind of content. Yeah, so thanks for watching. We'll meet next time.